Hey everybody, welcome to Bible class. I hope that you're having a good day and I hope that you're staying dry with all the rain and the crazy weather lately. Today I actually have a special guest for you. We've been talking about Isaac and Rebekah. Now we haven't really talked much about what happens after Isaac and Rebekah, and I want you to hear from one of his sons. So, who was his son? His name was Jacob, and I've got him here to talk to you a little bit about himself and kind of what happened to him in life. So, here's Jacob. To tell you about myself, I have to start with my father. You've heard of Isaac and how he married Rebekah. It was many years from the time that they married until they had children, me and my brother Esau. Isaac, my father, he prayed for Rebekah, and after 20 years, when he was 60 years old, she became pregnant with me and my brother. And I remember hearing about it, that she was in distress because we haven't always gotten along really well, me and Esau, and we were tumbling around within her. And she was asking, why is this happening to me? The Lord answered to her, 2 nations are in your womb, 2 peoples from within you, they shall be divided. The one shall be stronger than the other. The older shall serve the younger. He is hairy, like a sheep, like a goat, so hairy and red, not the same as me. We started to grow up, and as we did, Esau was the outdoors kind. He was a hunter, and he became very good at it and very skilled. I remember my father, he was partial to Esau because he loved to eat his food. But my mother, she was partial to me. Esau, being the outdoorsman as he was, hunted and gathered and things that he did, but I was more, let's say, sophisticated. I like to stay around inside of the tents and do things around the houses. You could say Esau was Abba's favorite and I was Emma's favorite. One time, I remember Esau had been out hunting as he loved to do, and he was tired, and it was exhausting. It was out in the sun and the heat. He came home and I was cooking. I was making some of my favorite red lentil stew. And he came in so hungry, he said, "Give me some of your stew." And I saw an opportunity. I said, "Sell me your birthright." And he said, "What good is my birthright if I'm dead?" So for a bowl of stew, he sold his birthright. It wasn't the best of decisions, but he sold it to me fair and square. It was after this time that there was a famine, pretty severe famine in the land. God told my father, "Don't go to Egypt. That's not where you need to go. I'm going to keep you here." And he made a promise that I want to read to you. He said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land of which I shall tell you. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you and bless you. For to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands, and I will establish the oath that I swore to Abraham your father. I will multiply your offspring as the stars of heaven, and will give to your offspring all these lands. And in your offspring all the nations of the earth shall be blessed, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac and all of us, we settled in Gerar. As we were settled there, and we moved around a few times until we got to a place called Beersheba, the well of the oath. And when when my brother Esau was 40 years old, me being 40 also, he married two Hittite women, one called Judith and one called Basemath, and they made life bitter for my parents, Isaac and Rebekah. Sometime after that, Isaac was getting old. His eyes were becoming dim. He could hardly see. He called my brother Esau, the oldest, only by a little bit, but oldest nonetheless. And he called in and said, "My son, I'm getting old. I don't know the day of my death." And he said to him, "Take your weapons, go hunt. Prepare me some food like I enjoy so very much, and come back, bring it to me, and I will bless you before I die." Now my mother, Rebekah, she heard this. She knew what was going on, and she came to me and she said, "Quick, let's do something here." She said, "We're going to go get some food that he likes. We'll go cook it for him, and then we will take you and go in for Esau, and he will bless you instead of Esau." I was worried. I said, "You remember though, my brother Esau is hairy. What if my father touches me?" She said, "Let's put goat skins on your arms and on the back of your neck." He really was hairy. That way, if he touches you, you'll feel like Esau. Again, my father was nearly blind at this point, so we did. We brought the food to him that my mother actually prepared instead of Esau, like my father enjoyed. And we went into him, and I gave him the food, and I said, "My father," and he said, "Who are you?" And I told him, I said, I'm Esau, your firstborn." And he said, "You sound like Jacob." He said, come close." And he was asking as I came close, "How did you get here so quickly?" I said, "The Lord gave me success in my hunting. It was quick and easy." But he was suspicious. He said, come close. Let me see if you really are Esau." And I came close, and he touched me, and he smelled me, and he said, the smell of my son and the feel of my son." He said, "But it's Jacob's voice, but Esau's feel." "Are you really Esau?" "I am," I said. So he asked me to bring the food near to him that he may eat, and then he wanted to bless me. After he had eaten, he said, "Come near, kiss me, my son." So I went near and kissed him, and Isaac smelled the smell of my garments because I was wearing Esau's clothes. And he blessed me, and this is what he said. I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. "See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field that the Lord has blessed. May God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." As soon as he finished giving me this blessing, I left, and I had barely left when Esau came back with his game that he had hunted, and he went to prepare it, and he brought it in to Isaac, and he said, "Let my father arise, let him bless me." Isaac was confused. He said, "Who are you?" And Esau, "Well, I'm your son, your firstborn. I'm Esau." And Isaac, my father, he trembled violently, very greatly, and he was distressed. "Who was it then that hunted game and brought it to me, and I ate, and I blessed? And he shall be blessed." And Esau knew what had happened, and he was angry, to put it gently. My name, Jacob, means deceiver, and he said, "He is rightly named. He has now cheated me from my birthright and cheated me from my father's blessing." He was so angry. He asked, "Have you not reserved any blessing for me? Bless me, Isaac, my father, not me. Isaac, I've made him Lord over you, he said. And I've made you his servant. His brothers will serve him. I sustained him with grain, with wine. What can I do for you? Esau, have you only one blessing, my father? He bless me also. And I remember Isaac, as my brother wept. Behold, away from the fatness of the earth shall your dwelling be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you shall break his yoke from your neck. Esau hated me because of that. And so he set out to kill me, his brother, because of what I had done. But my mother, she heard what Esau said, and she knew that I was in danger, and she came to me. She said, I have an idea. Do what I tell you. You're not going to stay here. So she went to my father. And she said, I hate my life. I loathe my life because of the Hittite women that Esau has married. If Jacob marries one of these Hittite women, what good would my life be to me? So she made a plan. She said, Isaac, send Jacob away back to my brother Laban. So he did. He sent me to Padan Aram, the house of Bethuel, where my mother came from. Take one of the daughters of Laban there, marry her, and God Almighty, El Shaddai, he will bless you, he will be with you, that you may take possession of the land of your sojournings. So I went to be there with Laban, the Aramean, the brother of my mother Rebekah. My brother Esau, he heard this about his wives, the Hittite women, and being how he was, he went and actually married one of the Ishmaelites. My father's brother, my uncle Ishmael, one of his daughters, her name Mahalath. That was not any more pleasing to my father than the Hittite women. Nevertheless, there are some interesting things that happened once I head to Padan Aram and was there. But I think we have talked about enough for today. I'll have to see you again, maybe on Wednesday. I hope you'll come back to hear the rest of my story. All right, so I hope you enjoyed listening to Jacob and what he had to say about himself, and I hope that you'll come back again on Wednesday so that you can hear the rest of that story. It's very interesting. Anyway, look forward to seeing you then. Have a good week.